Welcome to part 2 of Super Mario World. So we're going to head on to the Donut Land, and we're going to see some new variations of stages and stuff. We're actually going to get a few exits. We don't get to the castle in this episode, but we will get a number. I do like the Donut Plains world more than some of the other ones. I think some of my favorite worlds in this game would be this world, the Donut Land, and then the Forest world. Both the Forest of Illusion. Both of those are really good. And I'm not really too big a fan of Choco Land and the Butter Bridge. Like, the bridge areas are okay. I'm not gonna grade this game like it wouldn't get a 10 out of 10 or something. But I feel like the most impactful and personal favorites and stages in this game would be the grass world or the forest world, and then this world. It has some really good ones. But the whole game, just as far as that's actually kind of concerned, it just has, there's plenty to smile about. So, yeah, I'm going to try this bonus game. I don't know. I actually go back to this stage a second time later in this episode to get the secret exit, and I thought about playing the bonus game again, but I said, I think I will try to do them. I don't know, not every single person really participates in the bonus game. I don't care. If I lose some of these and you laugh at my poor luck, whatever, I missed a couple of those. So I think it's it's kind of like the buzzer in Jeopardy, the television show Jeopardy or something. This is kind of taunting in a way. Makes you want to flip off the game or something, but not too much of a big deal. It's just like, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the thing, so... Those are like the kind of moments that you should enjoy. You watch this with like a pizza and some Swishers or something like that, something to really pig out on, and you just catch that and you got a beer in your hand and you're like, wow, this motherfucker keeps getting, he keeps losing at the bonus game. I mean, that's what Super Mario World is intended for, is for kind of your poker buddies and your football buddies and that type of stuff. Is what it's meant for, is the slacking type stuff. I mean, not wholesomely slacking, but just kind of, I'm not trying to become an astronaut before I'm 27 kind of thing. This is kind of the situation. But so yeah, I'm going to use Yoshi in this playthrough, but I try to avoid overly using him because I just don't really see the point. I mean, I know I'm going to have to be able to muster some degree of strategy for some of the later stages, especially when we get to the special world. So it's been a long time since I've actually tried to beat this game. I want to say it was probably when I was even a teenager, and I'm in my mid-30s. So it's just kind of, it's been quite some time since I've actually actively played through this game. But it is a classic. It's definitely got the fun factor. I could have brought Cobalt along, but then he doesn't live with us anymore, so it's kind of, it just isn't, it'd probably take obviously it would, but you get the idea. So, I was trying to go in that pipe. I thought that was the one, but I guess they wouldn't have made it so difficult. They kind of trick you there. I mean, that's kind of the concept I fell for that game's trap, because I thought the first green pipe would be the secret exit, but it's the second one. Just to kind of say, oh, we're not going to trick you that badly. So, make you jump from an awkward angle to get up the pipe. Nowadays, I think Nintendo probably would do that. It'd be the first pipe that's kind of off catty corner to the side from it that it would make you get that one. But Nintendo's never really that brutal with their games. It's something I like about them is, Super Mario Brothers was kind of an annoying game when it first came out, but it's really easy once you played it a couple hundred times. The same thing with Super Mario World, and I'd probably even throw Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64 in there, those type games. But that's one thing. I've tried so many Super Nintendo games and stuff like that to be able to find some good ones, apart from just Mario and Donkey Kong and that type stuff. But I just it's really tough because most of the other developers that worked on this machine made really tough games. I mean, that's the whole reason, because I don't know the sheer degree. If it really is like Super Mario Bros., we're playing through it a couple hundred times, is going to allow you to be able to, playing through it a couple hundred times is going to, I just don't know how much you'd have to play Contra 3 The Alien Wars just to be able to beat that game. Like, I've seen people like Nintendo Capri Sun be able to beat that game, but he probably played that maniacally back in the 90s when it came out. This is kind of the thing. It's different. I mean, there's something about adolescence that if you play a video game in your adolescence, you're just more likely to be able to beat it later on because you grew up with it. You got home from school, you got home from work, you got home from clubs and like excursions and that type stuff, and people played the games back in the 90s and 2000s and stuff, but it just is kind of so. But yeah, I just have never really been a fan of blisteringly hard games. I mean, it's respectable if the difficulty actually fights fair. I mean, I'm against unfair fighting in video games. It's always like the second to last or the last stage or even the final boss. It's just how it kind of is. I mean, the final boss in this game is reasonable, and I think that's this kind of thing. It just had the perfect difficulty, But we got the Green Switch Palace, so we're already 2 down. This is only the second episode. Probably all the more of just like 20 minutes into the entire playthrough if you've watched part 1. It just relatively kind of happens to be a thing, so we're going to regress back to Donut Plains 1. We've got more stuff to do. I mean, some people, they might cut this footage out so you don't have to watch the stage twice. I'm not going to do that. I don't really care if this playthrough is kind of long or has tedium, because a lot of my Let's Plays do kind of have some of that tedium. I think that's kind of the point. I mean, you're supposed to... I understand that there are some folks that, you could be on a plane trip, you could be in a hotel, bored as hell, something like that, and you just need something to get you through longer than just 35 minutes or something. I mean, I'm just not in a rush with this game. It's the same way... There was another game that I played on this channel that I said that same type thing, and I don't remember what game it was. Might have been Crash Team Racing, where I've said that a number of times. I said that with Blackthorn, I said that with Crash Team Racing, and I said that with, like, probably even Sonic the Hedgehog 2 when I played that game, and stuff like that. Even Turtles in Time, despite the fact that probably most people would beat that game probably within an hour and 15 minutes. But this will be longer than a couple hours of a playthrough. I easily think there's going to be more than 13, 14, 15 episodes, even with me knowing what I'm doing. 'Cause I've gotten all 96 exits before, but it's just it's been 20 years, if not more than that. So I did not bring Yoshi with me, but we'll get to Donut Secret 1 in the next episode. I'll pretty much finish up the Donut Plains. I'll do the other ghost house and some of that type of stuff. I'm just going to do the worlds one by one. I probably, unless I really am not in the mood or if I get enough deaths, that's about the only real reason why I'm not going to beat these stages in order. I pretty much remember, I've watched this game enough times where I remember the secret exit, so it's just kind of, there's a question of being able to do it and how much it's going to piss me off if I do try to. But I don't suspect it will a lot, because this game is pretty balanced. But yeah, Mario could stand to have techno. He could stand to kind of become a little bit techno. There needs to be like some sort of gaming mascot that's really into techno. I don't know if that's like something that actually has happened, but when you look after it and have to kind of say like Sonic the Hedgehog was kind of hair metal, and he kind of had some cheesy 80s metal about him, and other game franchises kind of did that, but I don't know, Mario's just always been, I don't know, it's just, that's kind of the situation, but they need to bring techno back, because techno is pretty damn dope. It's kind of the thing, we definitely need like some more techno. It'd be dope seeing like some, I don't know, I mean, none of the characters in these Mario games really know how to party. Like the Princess Toadstool will always make Mario a cake, but that's about the extent of a party. It just feels like a giant birthday party that she's throwing for Mario, is just making him a birthday cake, that type of stuff. But I do think, like, I would like to see some of the Mario characters kind of indulge. Maybe it'd be kind of odd because Mario's pretty kid-centric these days, but just to kind of say, I wonder how Mario parties. there's enough characters these days to where it just makes you wonder what some of them do. Like, I know that Wario likes to lift weights and be muscular and that type of stuff, but for the most part, they just have not really added like traits to these characters. Like, I would like some sort of like biography of Mario that kind of showcases like his likes and dislikes. You know, just like 4, 5, 6 things that Mario likes and dislikes, and you could pick it up. Like, you'd realize that Mario likes like a bowl of pasta and birthday cake and that type stuff. And I mean, I would just have to say something like that. And Luigi likes to eat Italian food or whatever. I mean, you just would have to pick up on some of those. I really think Nintendo should do that, but they probably won't. It's just interesting to kind of get those fun facted details. But you know, that's how today's age is you got to understand that the more details, I mean, that's how franchisees kind of happen, because then you can do stuff just like when you look at like the rapper Eminem or something. I mean, if it weren't for the line he had in Lose Yourself about Mom's Spaghetti, he wouldn't have his own restaurant right now. So he has kind of like his own restaurant that is just based off of one kind of very small oriented line in the beginning of Lose Yourself, but it's probably, I'd say, give it 6 or 7 or 5, 6, 7 years, and Mom's Spaghetti the store will probably have made Eminem a couple $1 million, even though there's only 2 of them. I think one's in Michigan, the other's in New York, but I think there'll probably start being more of those. I'd take a Mom's Spaghetti in Missouri. That'd be pretty dope. That's kind of dependent upon that kind of a thing, but yeah, we're gonna go to the ghost house again, and that should about wrap up this episode. I'm gonna get to the top secret area. That's what I'm trying to unlock, because that is useful. It's gonna save a lot of time when I need a power up. They need to have more things like that. More video games need those kind of things, is to stock up and kind of pile and get your goodies instead of having to grind for them and that type stuff and farm. You know, a lot of games like to try to make you farm and that sort of thing, but it's like hell. I wonder how much tougher this game would be without the top secret area. This is kind of makes me wonder if it would be that much more of a pain in the ass. But I mean, because then you'd have to, and even then, the other thing, like one of the message blocks I think in this episode said, if you press start, then select, you can exit the stage without having to complete it. I do think that that's another good idea, but I wonder what would have happened if they would have removed that. If they could have said, hey, in hard mode, you don't get that option. So if you die in the stage, the only way to get out of a stage is to complete it or die in the stage. But that's the kind of stuff I wouldn't mind. I mean, Nintendo really needs to take like the engine of this game and make a new one. Like, that's something, rather than the new Super Mario Bros. Game, I would just prefer another game with this engine and the same ideas and stuff, but that's never going to happen. This kind of happens to be the thing. But yeah, I've given you some pizza banter, so subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night.